Would it be considered an abortion if the baby dies in utero? Is that an abortion? So let's talk about the child. On the child side, would it be, somebody's asking in the chat, would it be considered an abortion if the baby dies in utero? Is that an abortion?
No. And there's a lot of, since Roe v. Wade, there's been some rhetoric out there like ectopic's an abortion, a miscarriage is abortion. No. An abortion is an active killing of the baby to kill the baby. That's not a technical definition. That's just my, I'm defining it now. But if a woman loses a baby and the baby dies, a stillbirth or a miscarriage, that's not an abortion. That's this very sad event. But it's not, it's a death. It's not a killing. Is that, if I'm understanding the question correctly?
Yeah. And I think like even, let's talk about the ectopic pregnancy a little bit more. Maybe first explain what an ectopic pregnancy is from a medical perspective, and then how that's handled and what kind of language a way of talking about that.
Yes. So an ectopic pregnancy is a pregnancy that's not in the uterus. It's most of the time it's in the fallopian tube. And unfortunately, a baby that's not in the uterus, a baby that's in the tube can never live. That isn't possible. That isn't the environment for a baby to grow. And if I don't treat that ectopic pregnancy, the tube will rupture and the mother will have severe internal bleeding. Women have died of ectopic pregnancy. It's a medical, emergency. So again, so yes, if a woman has an ectopic pregnancy, I would treat the pregnancy, treat that. It's either medically or surgically, but that's not an abortion. So there's rhetoric out there that, now we can't treat ectopic pregnancies. I said I work with American Association of Pro-Life OBGYNs, and we just put a statement on our website about that, and treating ectopics is not an abortion. Unfortunately, we can't save the baby. There's no technology to do that, but we have to separate the mother and the baby and, save the mother's life.
I think this is really helpful to help us understand some of the language that you use in thinking about it as a doctor, because there's so much crazy rhetoric on social media right now. And this is very helpful. I want to ask you too about heartbeat bills, because one of the objections I've seen on social media is now that OBs cannot treat patients with ectopic pregnancies because of heartbeat laws, and that they will be subject to medical malpractice.
Why don't you give us some wording around a heartbeat bill or heartbeat law, so we're all on the same page? Yeah,
so some states, in anticipation of Roe being overturned, are passing what's called heartbeat laws, where you cannot perform an abortion once there is a heartbeat that's present. And Chris would know better than I as to, what week the heartbeat tends to appear. But there's a lot of rhetoric that now OBs will be forbidden from treating patients with ectopic pregnancies because of these heartbeat laws. So I'm wondering if you can maybe weigh in on that a little bit.
Yeah, that is not true either. I mean, I don't know all the details. I'm not a lawyer, obviously, but that's not what that law is, not what it's meant to do. And sometimes an ectopic pregnancy will have a heartbeat. Usually they don't because they're earlier. But there is no situation that the same thing with a miscarriage. That's not an abortion. It's not an abortion. Now, will there be, is there fear and trembling out there, and what's people going to get in trouble for? And am I going to be accused of this? That may be true, but treating an ectopic pregnancy, treating a miscarriage is not an abortion. I cannot save that baby. there's nothing I can do. And if I don't do anything, the mother will die. We're about life, and treating ectopic's not an abortion. So my understanding of the law, again, I don't know the details legally because that's not my area, but that's not what the intention there is.